Feedback is an essential element of effective teaching and learning. It is the bridge between a student's current understanding and their potential. When delivered effectively, feedback can ignite a passion for learning, boost confidence, and foster a growth mindset. In the heart of Nigeria, two classrooms showcase the profound impact of feedback on student outcomes. This is the tale of two teachers, Mr. Adebayo and Mrs. Ikenna, and their contrasting approaches to feedback. Mr. Adebayo, a seasoned mathematics teacher, believed deeply in the transformative power of constructive criticism. He saw mistakes not as failures, but as valuable opportunities for growth and learning. His classroom was a safe space for students to stumble, learn, and improve without fear of judgment. Mr. Adebayo made it a point to provide specific and actionable feedback, focusing on the effort and strategies students employed, rather than simply labeling them as right or wrong. He would often say, "This is a good start, but let's see if we can find a more efficient method to solve this problem." His words, though simple, carried a weight of encouragement that resonated deeply with his students. They felt seen, heard, and valued, knowing that their efforts were recognized and appreciated. This nurturing environment fostered a love for learning and a resilience that extended beyond the classroom walls. Aisha, a bright but timid girl in Mr. Adebayo's class, initially struggled with mathematics. She often felt overwhelmed by the subject, which made her anxious and hesitant to participate. She would often get lost in the complexities of equations and doubt her abilities. The frustration would sometimes bring her to the brink of giving up. However, Mr. Adebayo's constant encouragement and specific feedback helped her see her mistakes as stepping stones to success. He believed in her potential and never gave up on her. He would point out areas where her logic was sound and guide her towards identifying and rectifying her errors. His patient guidance made a significant difference. With each constructive feedback, Aisha's confidence grew. She started to see herself as capable and intelligent. She began to embrace challenges and persevere through difficult problems. Her determination and hard work started to pay off. Her grades steadily improved, but more importantly, her love for mathematics blossomed. She found joy in solving problems that once seemed impossible. Aisha's transformation was a testament to the power of feedback in cultivating a growth mindset. Her journey showed that with the right support, anyone can overcome their fears and excel. Section 4, Mrs. Ikenna's classroom, where fear overshadowed learning. In stark contrast to Mr. Adebayo's nurturing environment, Mrs. Ikenna's classroom was ruled by fear. She believed in a strict, authoritarian approach to teaching, where mistakes were met with reprimands and public humiliation. Students lived in dread of her sharp tongue and biting sarcasm. Feedback in her class was often limited to "wrong" or "pay attention." This created an atmosphere of anxiety and discouraged students from taking risks or asking for help. They focused on avoiding Mrs. Ikenna's wrath rather than engaging deeply with the subject matter. Section 5, Chidi's struggle, a victim of harsh feedback. Chidi, a naturally inquisitive student, bore the brunt of Mrs. Ikenna's harsh feedback. He was eager to learn but often stumbled in his attempts to grasp new concepts. Mrs. Ikenna's constant criticism chipped away at his confidence, making him doubt his abilities and withdraw from class participation. He began to see himself as bad at math, a label that Mrs. Ikenna unknowingly reinforced with her negative feedback. Chidi's story highlights the detrimental effects of harsh feedback on student motivation and self-esteem. Section 6, Feedback, a catalyst for educational change in Nigeria. The contrasting outcomes in Mr. Adebayo's and Mrs. Ikenna's classrooms underscore the critical role of feedback in shaping student experiences and outcomes. Mr. Adebayo's approach, filled with encouragement and constructive criticism, led to a vibrant learning environment, while Mrs. Ikenna's more rigid and critical style resulted in a less engaged classroom. Constructive feedback, delivered with empathy and a focus on growth, can empower students to reach their full potential. When students feel supported and understood, they are more likely to take risks, ask questions, and engage deeply with the material. Conversely, negative feedback can create a culture of fear, stifle creativity, and hinder academic progress. Students who are constantly criticized may become disengaged, lose confidence, and develop a fear of failure. In the context of Nigeria's education system, where resources are often scarce and challenges abound, the power of effective feedback cannot be overstated. Teachers must navigate these difficulties while striving to provide meaningful and supportive feedback to their students. By embracing a culture of constructive criticism, educators can unlock the potential within each student, fostering a love for learning and a belief in their ability to succeed. This approach not only enhances academic performance but also builds resilience and a growth mindset. The story of Mr. Adebayo, Mrs. Ikenna, and Chidi serves as a powerful reminder of the impact teachers can have on their students' lives. Their experiences highlight the importance of feedback in shaping not just academic outcomes, but also the overall well-being and future success of students.